So I'm going to show you an application that was written for the Tropo platform. It's a speech recognition application written in PHP, and it runs off a data source that is stored in CouchDB. It's a data source that I got from the San Francisco Open Data repository for all of the streets, basically the street center lines for the city county of San Francisco. And I've put that in CouchDB, and I'm going to use a Tropo application that you can see here. It's just a very simple PHP script which you will find in a GitHub repository linked in this blog post. And I'm going to use it to query this database of San Francisco streets. You can see in this CouchDB database I've got over 16,000 documents, and I have in them the street name, street type, and zip code, which is what I want to build up using views and a list function, a grammar that looks like this. This is a speech recognition grammar, and this one is for the 94107 area code in San Francisco, and it lists a unique item in one of these grammar rules for all of the streets in San Francisco in that zip code, which will let me match an address using my voice. And I'm going to do that to create an Open311 service request. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this, and as I capture my address, I'm going to write a new call record that will have all of the details in this call records database. This database could be in the same CouchDB instance as your grammar data and logic that I just showed you, or a separate one. It doesn't matter. The blog post that accompanies this screencast will have more details on that. Now, since Tropo is nice enough to give me all sorts of phone numbers for free when I set up an account and provision an application, I could call this application using a San Francisco telephone number. I could call it Skype, SIP, iNum. I could connect it to a phono app. For this screencast, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just call it via Skype so you can hear what I'm saying.
Please enter your 5-digit zip code.
94107.
Did you say 94107?
Yes.
Please say your street address, beginning with your street number.
1675 Arkansas Street.
I heard you say 1675 Arkansas Street. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
See, my call is now over, and if I look in my call records database, I've got a record in here now. If you look, I was able to capture some pretty useful information from that phone call just using that PHP script. So I've got the address that I actually entered in along with the zip code. So if I was to start a 311 service request, I've now got an address and a zip code that I can tie to that service request. I've got the caller ID that I used. Since I used Skype, it's my Skype name. And I've also got just some basic call metrics here. This is the call end time and start time, so I can see how long the call lasted. Now, speech recognition is really hard to do, particularly when you're doing an address capture. So what we want to do is set up a way to capture an address if the speech recognition doesn't work for some reason. And unfortunately, that's the case sometimes, no matter how hard we try. So what I've done is I've set up my application to actually fall back to call recording, so I can record the audio of what the caller is saying so that it can be transcribed either automatically through some of the functionality that we provide on Tropo, or manually, depending on your workflow and your system. So I'm going to call that application back, and I'm going to purposely fudge my address so you can see how that works.
Please enter your 5-digit zip code.
94107.
Did you say 94107?
Yes.
Please say your street address, beginning with your street number.
65829, blah, 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 blah.
I heard you say 65829 Hubble Street. Is that correct?
No.
Sorry, let's try again. Please say your full address, including your street number, street name, and zip code. Press the pound key when finished.
1675 Arkansas Street, San Francisco, California, 94107.
I recorded your address as
1675 Arkansas Street, San Francisco, California, 94107.
Thank you.
Okay, so now that I've done that, I've actually got another record in here in my CouchDB database. And what you'll see in it is a little bit different. I've got my standard call metrics that I had in the last record, my caller ID, which in this case is my Skype address, but will be a regular telephone number if someone calls in through their telephone or cell phone. And I've got the zip code that I was able to capture, but in this case I don't have an address because I didn't successfully match it against my grammar. But what I was able to do was actually record an MP3 recording and store it in my CouchDB database, because CouchDB lets you do that via an attachment. And this will let me actually have this address transcribed so that I can still take an Open311 service request using the telephone, even when I don't have an accurate grammar match, which happens sometimes. And this is what that recording says.
1675 Arkansas Street, San Francisco, California, 94107.
And there you have it, a complete speech recognition address capture application written in PHP using CouchDB on Tropo. Open source, open standards for the win.